the city of El Paso only has so many resources, and we have come to what we look at a breaking point right now.
You heard it there. The Democratic mayor of El Paso saying his city is at a breaking point over the recent surge of illegal migrants. The mayor saying there are more than 2,000 migrants a day seeking asylum, which is exceeding shelter capacity and straining resources.
Mario D'Agostino is El Paso's deputy city manager, joining us live here. Thank you, sir, for coming on. Your city went through a surge several months ago when Title 42 was expiring. How have things changed if you would compare perhaps a few months ago versus today when you hear the mayor say something like we're at a breaking point? Is that true?
So I'll kind of sum it up. This is our fourth surge since May of 2022. And so it's just been one surge upon another. And what this one does bring, why he's talking about it being our breaking point, is it brings a multitude of what we've seen over the last several. High numbers of individuals. I mean, CBP custodies are all high. Their daily apprehensions remain at 1,700. Their community releases are still averaging a very high number of anywhere from 1,200 to 1,500 per day being released into the community. It's those coupled with the population itself. So we're seeing a lot of Venezuelan population again. It's making up the vast majority of who's crossing in. And as we saw back in this time frame last year, that Venezuelan population doesn't have the means to get to their final destination. And so that creates longer stays or bottlenecks here in El Paso as for those that are moving onward.
And running out of space is what we've sort of gathered when it comes to El Paso and the resources available or lack thereof. You know, we've also seen, migrants arrive in Texas through the southern border and then be bussed all across the country. And we've seen it in sanctuary cities, including New York City and Chicago. We've seen Philly and Denver. I believe the Texas governor has sort of sent out the statistics when it comes to the sheer numbers of folks, and it totals about 42,000. So you've got people who, again, are going all throughout the country here. Talk to me about those who remain in El Paso. What does that look like day to day when you've got migrants coming in from all different countries, by the way, potentially speaking a number of languages? Are you able to facilitate and offer assistance to those folks?
So that is the difficulty. We've been able to keep the assistance going. At this point in time, we haven't had what other communities have seen as street releases. We've been able to take them all in from CBP, but that requires a heavy lift on the city itself. And we have over 9 hotels operational at one time. We've opened up some emergency type sheltering. We took one of our parks facilities, converted it into a shelter. We placed cots in there. That is occupied at this time, and it has been for several nights now. And it takes a multitude of all of those. We are trying to assist with those connections and getting people to move on, because the reality of it is people who are passing into El Paso are just passing. They do not want this to be their final destination. They do not want to stay here. So there is some of the busing that is going on. There has been buses departing from our city since, I believe, Saturday. They've been going to cities of their choice, but it seems like right now it seems to be Denver, New York, and Chicago is what they're choosing.
Governor Greg Abbott sent out a tweet, which Emma just pretty much read off of, but we'll show it to you here, again, showing where they want to go, according to the governor. 12,000 in D.C., 15,000 in New York, Chicago, Philly, Denver, Los Angeles, and so on. Again, really trying to relieve the pressure on these border towns. Is this enough? What needs to be done? What more needs to be done? I mean, even New York, you've heard it on national programming that Chicago, New York, they're calling on federal assistance because even these cities can't handle what you were asked to handle for so many years.
That's exactly it. And that, when you're looking at those busing operations we've seen over the last several days, and we're looking at them as they're exiting town, we're talking about 300 people a day. And when they're releasing 1,200 a day, you can do the math. It adds up quickly, and it's a capacity issue. We're not the same size as some of those destination cities where they're going, and so we don't have the resources available to house that many individuals. So that's why a key priority for us is to make sure that their travels continue and they're able to move on to their final destination.
Mario, just really quick, when you come in contact, when these Border Patrol agents come in contact and are processing these migrants, is there sort of a script that is said time after time in order for these folks to seek asylum? Has that sort of been communicated despite language barriers?
Yeah, I couldn't answer that question. I know they're seeing a lot. They are claiming asylum. I don't know what their script is, but they are claiming they're coming over in large groups. I'm sure you've seen the videos over the last few days. Yeah. We have groups of up to 2,000 people amassing right on the other side of the border wall at any point in time. And so they're coming in large groups. Border Patrol is actually opening up the points at those individual points and accepting them in at that location. And so that's what's creating this large influx into the community right now.
Yeah, claiming asylum. All right, that's El Paso's Deputy City Manager, Mario D'Agostino. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you coming on today.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, we'll bring back in Newsmax contributors Tom and Deneen Borelli, who've been listening along again to Mr. D'Agostino there of El Paso. We're at a breaking point, and Deneen, it's one of those things where you hear this. It's not just the border towns anymore. I mean, you're hearing this throughout any of these cities that, again, these migrants who come across illegally, they're choosing to go to these cities, as the governor put it through his tweet. And those cities are at a breaking point. What's next?
Well, all you got to do is walk a few blocks from here and you can see these people out on the streets. Look, Biden owns this. He had this open door policy for anyone to come here, no matter where you're coming from. We don't know who they are. They're bringing diseases. They don't speak English. They're attacking our border personnel physically. This is a huge problem, and there seems to be no end in sight in terms of how this is going to be fixed.
Yeah, and yet the message has to be working its way back, Tom, or at least through cartels or whoever's helping facilitate, this sort of journey for migrants that once you arrive, you'll have your housing, you'll have your food, your kids will get to go to school, because why else would you take such a dangerous journey?
And sadly, they don't even need to use propaganda. It's real, right? You come to New York City, you get housed because you have a right to shelter law here, as well as, I think, in the state of Massachusetts. So it's reality. It's not propaganda. And the cartels are using it, and they're making tons of money. But I think, look, this is huge bad news. It's a crisis. There's health concerns. Tuberculosis, I think, have been found in a number of migrants coming over. It's highly infectious, and some tuberculosis is antibiotic resistant. So that's a huge problem. But I think the silver lining all this is all you need to do is look at the recent poll from ABC News, Washington Post, where Biden got a 62% disapproval on the way he's handling the southern border. Now those people polled need to translate that to votes, and then we can make things change.
Yeah, I mean, you think if this country is divided, you've got at least some Democrats who are recognizing this is a border crisis and we're giving Biden a failing grade on it. Borelli, thank you very much for joining us today.